My name is Ernie Hando. I'm a PA. Started fell in love with EMS. It put me through college, and then I got out of college and I had a free paramedic course, the first one in the state, in Hartford. And I got into that and I started in EMS until 96. At which point I went into PA school. I have to tell you, to this day, if I get paid what I get paid now and do what I want to do, I would still be a paramedic because it's a great job.
My name's Crystal. Hi. I'm a registered nurse. Started in EMS when I was actually 15. I had to get my parents' permission to actually take the course. And I graduated out of that when I was 16. So I became an EMT when I was 16, and I worked for volunteer service until I was 18, and then I got hired here at Danbury Ambulance. EMS and being a medic is completely who I am today. I attribute my entire personality to it. I grew up with it. It made me grow up so quickly, and I love that part of it. And I loved being a medic. Absolutely loved it. And that's why I love being a recovery room nurse, because you have the same kind of autonomy that you do as a medic. You can really do everything for your patient like you do as a medic. So I found the best of both worlds.
I got my start in high school as well, and one of the things that you were able to do during your senior year is if you had good grades, you met a certain academic criteria, you could take the last 5 weeks of your senior year off and do a project. It's called Senior Independent Study. Okay, let's see. Last 5 weeks of your senior year, no school. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Okay, so true to form, procrastinator that I am, we had to submit a proposal, and I was right down to the last 2 hours to submit it. And I'm driving around town, what the hell am I going to do? And I happened to hit the intersection of West and New Street, and I saw the ambulances coming out of the firehouse. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd ride on an ambulance for 5 weeks. So I went to the fire department. They said, no, we can't take riders, insurance issues, and so forth. But there's a little ambulance shop right next door called Medichair. I told my mother, came home, and I thought she was going to grab her chest and keel over. I said, Mom, I'm taking a semester off to do the paramedic program at Yale. Oh! She thought I wasn't going to go back to school, that I was going to quit. But I did it. And when I got out of college, I had a built-in career. Worked for Campion out in Waterbury for a little while. But shortly after I graduated, I got hired by the hospital when we were running the fly car medic out of headquarters. That was hands down the best job I've ever had.
I'm not aware of any other path in education that, if you're interested in healthcare, will lead you directly to hands-on patient care, assessment, treatment, and, as we've all talked about, decision making. And not only is it a good thing to have on your resume or your school transcript, which it is, but most importantly, it will let you know if you like hands-on patient care and making decisions and assessing patients and interacting with people, all the things that we've been talking about up here. And if not, then that's not a career path that you should take. And if you do enjoy it, then healthcare, some aspect of it is good for you. I think it makes it easier for people to make those decisions. But once you've made them and you're filling out that application, you're filling out that paperwork, you're able to proudly say, yeah, I've got experience in this kind of thing. I know that I want to be here in this school or in this career because my experiences in EMS let me have insight into that. And people, I believe, they respect that when you're going into a career, you're applying for a job somewhere, or when you're applying to get into school. What about you, Crystal? How do you think EMS made you better at the jobs that you do now?
Yeah, I would say the same thing that Ernie said, that, you'll have people running around screaming oh my God, he's not breathing. It's all right, just bag him. What's the big deal? You're still breathing. Shut up here, people, and that really is it. You realize that it's not your emergency and you can't, feed into it. And it's amazing, how many people who are in medicine that still feed into it because they haven't had that, person who's in the back of your ambulance that stops breathing, and then all of a sudden you're like, you got to remind yourself to breathe too, and then you're like, okay, you know, and then as the time goes on, you just get better and better at that. It doesn't even faze you anymore. So I would say, yeah, like when I go to work every day, like people freak out, they have no blood pressure, don't worry about it, we'll give them something to fix it, you know? Like, it's really not a big deal, there's something that can cure that, and if not, it's not gonna get any worse than it already is. So it doesn't matter, you know?
Perspective.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a lot of perspective in your life, and you know, being a medic, I think too, humbled me a lot, because I think, you know, I was 19 and I was a paramedic. I couldn't even drink alcohol, and here I am carrying narcotics on me. And I would get out in the ambulance with this guy, and I would be the medic. Him and I would work double medic shifts sometime, and I'd be the medic, and I'd have like this 80-year-old guy looking at 19-year-old little me, and I could get complete trust.
Maintain your calm. It does give you a huge sense of perspective. I cannot tell you how many times at the end of a shift, whether it's on the ambulance or in the ER, I go home and I'll just sit on the edge of one of my kids' beds and just stare at them and say, thank God. You know, I am blessed. I have 2 healthy kids. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a paycheck. I see what the suffering that's going on around us in this economy. And I am truly blessed by what I've been given. A lot of it I earned. I'm proud of that. But the other thing, I think that on a slightly lighter note, is for anybody who plans on making a career in emergency medicine, I'm not talking about, you know, if you're going to, you know, be a chiropractor or an ophthalmologist or whatever. That's great if you choose that route. But if you're going to work in emergency medicine, find a significant other or a spouse who has a slightly twisted sense of humor, because nobody else understands us. Not at all. Okay? You know, Chick is her husband, has the same kind of warped sense of humor that the rest of us do. And my wife gets me to a certain degree, but the people that I'm closest to in this world, besides my family, all work in EMS or some form of public service. And it's because we understand each other, you know?
It's like a dysfunctional family reunion whenever we get together.